Hey, so this guy the first no is wearing his shoes on the wrong feet. He's got the left shoe on his right foot and the right shoe on his left. Like, would your feet even be comfortable going to work like that? Is that normal? Of course not, it's totally messed up. There's no good reason to wear them that way. I mean, if someone offered me $10,000 to do it for a day, I'd grit my teeth and do it, even if my feet hurt like crazy. But if there's no reason or reward, why would anyone put up with that? But get this, it's kind of ironic because we all do stuff like that. When an individual does stock trading, it's just like wearing your shoes on the wrong feet. I explained why in the last episode, but basically, there's hardly any return out there that's higher than a compound return. And inflation works with compound interest. So, it's not easy to beat inflation. Let's look at South Korea as an example. The average inflation rate there for 30 years was 6.7%. Overall, prices went up by 7 times in 30 years. But the stock index only went up by 2.3 times. 1994 closing price 1027.37. 2024 closing price 2399.49. If you invested $100,000 in something that hedges against inflation, like real estate, it would be worth $700,000 after 30 years. And if you took out a $65,000 loan, you'd make a profit that's 20 times your initial $35,000 investment. But the person who invested that same $100,000 in stocks, instead of buying a home, would have only made it to $230,000 at best. And most people did even worse. The stock market is full of manipulation and scams. Back in 1962, the head of the intelligence agency, Kim Jong-pil, under the military regime of Park Chung-hee, orchestrated a stock market scam. In April 1962, the intelligence agency tried to artificially inflate stock prices. To make a profit, they bought up a huge amount of stock in the soon-to-be public Korea Stock Exchange, and then used that as collateral to buy and resell rice to get cash. They planned to use that money to fund their political party. But the stock market crashed and their plan failed. In the process, 5,300 individual investors lost an estimated $400 million. In today's money, Kim Jong-pil was later acquitted, and the scandal became known as one of the 4 great corruption scandals. And Kim Jong-pil even went on to become the prime minister. That's just the tip of the iceberg. There have been so many scandals like that. On the other hand, have you ever heard of someone manipulating inflation? Probably not. It's wiser to invest in honest inflation than in the shady stock market. You might be thinking, what are you talking about? Tons of people have gotten rich from stocks. Think about it this way. A lot of people have won the lottery over the years. There's not much difference between a stock market millionaire and a lottery winner. If you believe a person got rich from stocks based on skill, you have to say winning the lottery is also based on skill. If you believe a person got rich from stocks because of luck, you have to say winning the lottery is also based on luck. That's the conclusion of countless scientific papers. So, here's the conclusion for today. You should always pursue a compound return. And inflation is a great example of that. What items best reflect inflation differ from country to country. That's because commercial, criminal, and tax laws are different. You should closely examine your country's laws to see if it's housing, land, stocks, bonds, or commodities that best reflect inflation. If it's a house, you should invest in a house. And if it's a house, you're blessed. You get a return on your investment, and you get a place to live. It's a win-win. So, do stocks reflect inflation best in your country? Then you should invest in stocks. But you shouldn't trade frequently. You should find a method with tax benefits and invest for the long term. Why shouldn't you trade frequently, you ask? The reason is this. Other things reflect inflation slowly and steadily. But stocks are like unpredictable, changing weather. What if you held Nvidia stock for 5 years, and it was a pain for 4 of those years? Only to jump up in the final year? You'd be happy to sell it for a profit. But nobody would be happy if it tripled in value after you sold it. Investing in stocks just makes you feel bad a lot. It's not a good investment from a psychological perspective either. Algorithms are designed to take advantage of those mood swings. That's why Wall Street has invested astronomical sums of money in engineers and psychologists. Are you still going to trade stocks? Why? Give me a good reason. Do you really want to wear your shoes on the wrong feet? Why would you do that? When something is not normal, but you do it every single day, you start to believe it is. That's the principle of routineomalism.